A horror story inspired by real whispers from the forest towns of Nigeria. They say every forest in Ogun State hides a secret, but not all secrets stay hidden. In the quiet border town of Imiko, close to the Benin Republic, a name once feared returned like a wound reopened. That name was Aguba. He arrived during the dry season, when the earth cracked beneath the heat and the nights turned unnaturally cold. He wore a torn red agbada, barefoot, his neck laced with cowries and bones. His eyes were too calm, and his smile lingered a moment too long. When asked where he came from, he simply said, "Emoji Omu Ibo. I am a child of the forest." The villagers thought he was either mad or a wandering Babalawo. But Baba Afolabi, the oldest man in Imiko, recognized the name. His hands trembled when he whispered, "Aguba was buried alive 30 years ago, in the sacred grove." After Aguba's arrival, strange things began to happen. The town's boreholes dried up overnight, though no pipes were damaged. A woman, Aya Folyok, bled from her eyes for 3 days, yet doctors found no trace of illness. The church bell rang at midnight, even though the church was locked from the inside. At night, chants in a strange, guttural tongue echoed across rooftops. Children woke screaming about a man with no face who offered them blood-soaked meat. Livestock disappeared, only to be found skinned and arranged in spirals on farmland. The town's Baal, Chief Olenia Ayankoya, summoned Baba Aremu, a powerful oracle from Elora. After consulting the spirits with his sacred appeal, Baba Aremu rose in horror and declared, "You welcome death with cola and palm wine. The man is not a man. He has crossed 7 rivers with human heads. He drinks blood and takes souls. If he is not stopped, Imiko will become a town of graves." Few believed the warning, until a brave young teacher named Ranti decided to investigate for herself. She was Igbo, born and raised in Abeokuta, and didn't believe in village superstitions. One night, she followed Aguba deep into the forest, torchlight in hand, pepper spray in her bag. She found him in an abandoned colonial cocoa warehouse, now swallowed by weeds and silence. Inside were jars of preserved body parts, tongues, eyes, fingers. A bowl of fresh blood sat on a mat beside a baby's pacifier. Against the wall stood 7 human skulls, each marked with the symbol, M1 Ajgun, children of the evil spirits. Ranti ran, but was later found at the school gate, eyes open, hair turned completely white, and her voice forever gone. She never taught again. Panic gripped Imiko. People fled. Markets shut down. Churches filled with prayers and fasting. But no one knew how to stop Aguba. Until one name was whispered, Old Feyi, a forest hunter and Ogun priest who lived alone in the deep bush near Yoruba North. He agreed to help, for a price. "I need a cock with 2 heads, and the blood of a goat that died at birth," he said. They provided everything. On the night of a blood moon, Old Feyi marched into the sacred grove with a machete blessed by Ogun, charms made from black soap and charcoal, and 3 nails from the coffin of a child who died at midnight. He found Aguba standing before a giant Iroko tree, chanting in a voice that shook the wind, "Imi ena al ijena anjmi. I am the one with power, blood is my food." Aguba's body lifted into the air. His skin cracked like dry mud. From his mouth flew bats made of ash. But the hunter stood his ground, calling on the spirits of Ogun, Sango, and Oya. When his incantation reached its peak, he drove the sacred blade not into Aguba's body, but into Aguba's shadow. And that was where the ritualist lived. Aguba screamed as the ground split open. The trees bent. Thunder clapped like war drums. Hands made of smoke pulled Aguba down into the soil. His last words echoed like a curse, "You can bury a body, but not a curse." The earth closed. The grove fell silent. Imiko breathed again. But not for long. Years passed, and peace returned. But on certain nights, especially under a red moon, people claimed to see a man in red at the edge of the forest. Dogs would bark without reason. The church bell would ring without a hand. And in the market of Ogun, if you mention Aguba's name after sunset, old traders will whisper, "You want to wake what sleeps?" Silence. Some spirits don't forget. Because Aguba may be gone, but his car still walks.